Hi, I'm Dick. I have been using Excel for more than 25 years and just used Power BI for a few years. At the very beginning, I, I am captivated by the introduction of Power BI, drawn to its vibrant visuals and data automation capabilities. While I'm eager to get started, I find it challenging to transition fully from Excel to Power BI. I also see that many people give up Power BI. For some accountants, they say, no kidding, PBI is no superior than Excel. I have developed a lot of skills with Excel. Functions, array formula, PV tables, and above all, it only takes me a few minutes to update the data in the templates at the end of each month. Why do I need to redevelop all the report templates? I also heard some comment from supply chain planners. We spend hundreds of hours explaining the logic of many reports and planning models to IT. They are running pretty well so far, although there is a long queue in the IT project list for additional reports or online inquiries. The drill down effect is missing, but we are already accustomed to that kind of report. It may not be wise for us to rebuild the existing reports. Some analysts also have the similar comment. I share almost the same comment as the accountants and planners. I tried but failed to shift to Power BI as I was often stuck with the data. I feel that I have no way to handle the data well in Power BI. Although the visuals are colorful and fancy, data updating seems automatic, but I really cannot handle the data. I believe that most of the beginners are going to give up Power BI. They share the same idea. As long as IT provide me the raw data, I can do the report on my way in Excel. But in Power BI, I need to request IT to process the data up to a point so that I can simply put the data into visuals. So it comes to a question, why do I have to use the clumsy Power BI? Definitely, your IT will fall against it. Anyway, why Power BI? Well, after I have used Power BI for a year, I find that it can handle millions of rows of data at a faster pace. It's easy to use and can process large volume of data quickly, while Excel, it may take minutes to recalculate. Visuals are colorful and well-structured, significantly reducing the effort required to construct reports. The key is the data handling. Once you can process the data in proper way, you can take all the advantages. Well, do you see this code? In God we trust, all other must bring data. Okay, but what data? One of the critical issues with Power BI is circulation. I'm going to introduce a few examples to illustrate this critical issue that block our user from extensive using of Power BI. Okay, this worksheet is a simplified version of master production schedule. It is based on an assumption of safety inventory coverage by 3 weeks. And we have the opening inventory balance of 1250. Then we are going to fill up the opening balance. But it is a little bit tricky. If it is week 1, we just take in the opening balance, 1250. Otherwise, we are going to take in the ending balance of last week. So I'm going to fill up the formula. Then I'm going to fill in the formula of target ending inventory. Next, we are going to fill in the production requirement formula. This is the sum up of target ending, demand, minus opening. Okay, this is an idealistic scenario of master production schedule model. Why? Because when I change the opening inventory to 3000, you see that the production requirement of first week is negative, which is not possible. So I need to add a maximum. And we also need to do the calculated ending, which is opening plus production minus demand. All right. And then the opening, we're no longer referring to the target ending inventory, column F. Instead, it should be column H. Then we fill down. You see that week 1 and week 2, we don't need to produce anything. Then we revisit the formula of week 2. Now in here, you see that the opening is referring to the calculated ending of week 1. Okay? And week 1 is also referring to the opening of week 1. Now you see that They both referring to the opening. Week 2 opening, ultimately referring to the opening of week 1. In other words, it looks like a circulation, but in Excel, it is not regarded as circulation because in Excel, each cell is an individual entity. The formula of a cell can refer to any cell of the same row or the same column. There is no circulation. But in Power BI, it is not the case. The DAX, the full name of DAX is Data Analytics Expression. Whenever we input the formula of a column, it applies to all rows of the same column. In the DAX, you cannot referring to the same column. You cannot even type the name of the current column. It won't accept. In addition, it also would not allow circulation. Something like here for the opening balance. Now, I can tell you that this is the major difference between Excel and Power BI. Okay, let's start to do the Excel simulation of master production schedule in Power BI. In order to save time, I just copy the target ending inventory formula from the previous worksheet to here. And then we can proceed to do the formula of production requirement. This formula composed of 2 parts. The first part is the accumulated production requirement. And then the second part is to minus the accumulated production requirement of last week. All right. Now, this is the first part of the formula. It starts from the target ending inventory of week 1. Okay, and then the second part of the formula is the accumulated demand. And then we minus the constant opening. Then, since we are in the week 1, there should not be any accumulated production requirement of last week. So we add a if condition. If the week number AX is larger than 1, we can do the calculation of accumulated production requirement of last week. So same, we do the max, and then we start from the F7. Actually, it would not happen. It only happen when we are from week 2 and onwards. So when we are in week 2, this will automatically become F8. So in here, F7, no issue. And then plus the accumulated demand. So we are using E7 to E7. And then minus the constant opening. In case this is negative, we would put 0. That's why here we put 0. And then if it does not meet the condition of week more than 1, so that means equal to 1, we put 0. Okay, here it is 0, same as what we did in the previous worksheet. Okay, we copy the formula till to week 8. All right, let's see if it is the same result of the previous worksheet. Here, 3x0, 600, 620, 555, 495, and 605. Here, same. All right, and then we are doing the opening. Okay, now, opening. We are using the opening plus the accumulated production of last week minus the accumulated demand of from last week. Okay, but we need to make sure to put the dollar sign here. Okay, and let's see, 3,000, 2,500, 1,885, 1,745. Same, bingo. And then we do the calculated ending. Opening plus production minus demand. All right, bingo. They are the same of the previous worksheet. 2,500, 1,885, and 1,655. Okay, let's revisit the formula of the opening inventory of week 2. You see that there is no relationship to the calculated ending. So there is no circulation. And the calculated ending, although it depends on opening, there is no circulation which refer to the calculated ending of last week. So there is no circulation. Production, same, no reliance on the calculated ending. Okay, well, it may be a little bit difficult to understand the whole mechanism, but this is a good illustration to explain the difference between Excel and Power BI. So I would suggest you can replicate this Excel formula into your own Excel. Once you understand what I mean, it will be good to understand all the other chapters following, because for this series of video, ultimately, we will do the application of supply chain planning, MPS, MRP, and production material plan. Critical. All right, it's the turn to do the Power BI part. First of all, we need to import the data from Excel. The data set is here. There are 4 columns: product, week number, weekday, and demand. So in the Power BI, we click on the import data from Excel, locate the file, choose the right worksheet. Now here, 4 columns. Okay, this is the right worksheet. You see that the week number is in default because of the nature in figures. We need to change it to don't summarize. Besides, we also need to add a few measures to this data set. Okay, we do the creation of a new table. We name the measure table as all measures. The first measure is the safety stock weeks, which is equal to 3. The next measure to create is the opening balance. Remember, it is 3,000. The last one is the MRP weeks. Recorded in the Excel, we only do 8 weeks of calculation, while we provide 11 weeks of demand. So we need to tell Power BI we will only do the calculation of production requirement up to weeks 8. All right, MRP weeks equal to 8. Lastly, we are going to delete the column 1, which is empty. Then we go to the table view. Continue the construction of MRP, I mean the production requirement. Okay, the first column we are going to create is the target ending inventory. Okay, I do the DEX formula. However, you see that the creation of the target ending inventory also cover the week 9 and 10, which is incorrect. So I need to add a if condition. Okay, less than MRP weeks or equal to MRP weeks. All right. Well, it is a good practice to format the column first if it is numeric in nature. All right, this is the target ending. Okay, the next column to create is the production requirement. Well, all the calculation only applies to the weeks till week 8, so we need to do the checking. This part of formula is composed of 2 subparts. One is the accumulated production requirement. The other is the accumulated production requirement of last week. Now this is the accumulated demand. We also need to add the target ending. Then minus opening. In case the result is negative, we need to add the max function so that if it is negative, we put 0. All right. Then the next part is the accumulated production requirement of last week. In order to save time, I do the copy and paste. And then this target ending should be last week. So I use the lookup value. Okay. We need to do the subtraction. And this is my personal practice. For 0, I would like to present blank. So I'm using the temp for the checking. Okay. And remember to format the numeric column. Afterwards, the next column is the opening balance. It is a good practice not to mix up the name of column with any measure. So remember, we have the measure named the opening. So in here, the column name should be opening balance. Okay. Again, we only do the calculation for the weeks equal or less than 8. We need to add the checking. Okay. I recorded this opening balance is correct. And the final column to add is the calculated ending. I thought I should use the name as ending balance. So opening balance plus production minus demand equal to the ending balance. Again, we only need to calculate the ending balance for the weeks till week 8. Okay, all the calculation have been done. And now we are going to do the MRP report. To this end, I need to generate a new data table. I call it MRP RPT. Okay, you see that I have done something quite strange. Particularly, I add some space ahead of some data. Well, I'm not going to spend any time to explain this. Rather, I just want to show you what I have done and ultimately what can be presented. So you may get some confusion, but please bear with me, okay? Okay, I also need to format this column. All right, the week number. Don't summarize. And the date. I prefer using this. On the other hand, I also need to add a column to reformat the weekday. I call it weekday X. I understand that you will feel a little bit weird why I need to do so much space ahead of the day. Okay, please bear with me. Then we go to do the visual. This time I pick up matrix. First of all, for the row, I'm using the, I missed one thing, product. See, this is the ultimate result of the master production schedule. Of course, it is not enough. This is only one kind of output, okay? I have to emphasize that this is only a simplified model. You may have a lot of questions, which I will go to detail in the later chapters. This exercise is only to illustrate the difference between Excel and Power BI and what Power BI can do. I hope the example I just present can give you some idea the difference between Excel and Power BI from the perspectives of formula construction. This series of video is for those first, freshmen with some knowledge of Power BI. Second, financial analysts, and they need to analyze high volume of data. Third, the supply chain planner need to do NPS, MRP, and PMP, and all others who are stuck with Power BI for extensive usage. There will be a number of series. First one is the basic. Second, the classification. Third, simple visuals. Fourth, matrix. I would like to add a remark here for matrix. This is my advocate. If there not exist matrix, you do not need to learn Power BI. I will show you when I'm talking about matrix further. And then the stream 5 relationship, data relationship. Stream 6 bookmarks. Stream 7 Power Query. I would say my preference is not to use Power Query. I have some painful experience with Power Query when I'm going to construct the formula. I find that it has a lot of restriction, which make me dislike it. I will do DAX as much as possible. All right, then stream 8 it is the simple application. For example, the calendar reporting, matrix reporting like sales report by month, BOM cost comparison, forecast, confidence analysis. And finally, streamline some advanced application. And last, I will talk about Power BI service and something out of line. For example, the new usage of blank button. I hope you can find this video helpful. If you agree, please don't forget to click subscribe and also click the thumb. Happy PBI journey!